The ring slipped from her fingers and hit the marble floor with a sharp metallic sound that echoed through the entire hall. Every head turned. The music stopped. Even the waiters froze mid-step. But none of that mattered. Because across the room, a man had gone completely still. His eyes locked onto the ring like he had just seen a ghost. "My mother has the same ring." The words didn't come out loud. They barely came out at all. More like a breath, a memory, a crack in something long buried. The billionaire standing at the center of the room, Ethan Cole, felt his heartbeat slam violently against his chest. Because that ring, that exact ring, wasn't supposed to exist anymore. Have you ever seen something so impossible, that it made your past come alive in front of you? The woman bent down quickly, embarrassed, her cheeks flushed as whispers spread around her. "I'm so sorry," she murmured, picking it up with trembling fingers. Her name was Lily. She didn't belong here, not in this world of crystal chandeliers and polished marble floors. Not among people who wore wealth like armor. She was just a guest, an assistant, invisible, but in that moment, she had become the center of something far bigger than she understood. Ethan stepped forward slowly, too slowly, like each step carried the weight of years. "Where did you get that?" he asked. His voice was controlled, but beneath it, there was something dangerous, something emotional, something close to breaking. Lily hesitated. She looked at him, confused by the intensity in his eyes. "It's just a ring," she said softly. Ethan shook his head immediately. "No," he said, "it's not." The room grew quieter, because people could feel it now. This wasn't normal curiosity. This was something else, something deeper. Have you ever been questioned about something you thought was ordinary, only to realize it wasn't? Lily swallowed. "It belonged to my mother," she said. The words hit Ethan harder than anything else. His jaw tightened. His hands clenched slightly at his sides. "Your mother," he repeated. Lily nodded. "Yes." A pause. "Then, she gave it to me before she died." Silence. Heavy. Sharp. Like something invisible had just been pulled into the room. Ethan's breath caught. For a moment, he wasn't in the ballroom anymore. He was somewhere else. Years ago. A different life. A different version of himself. Have you ever tried to forget something so deeply, that when it comes back, it feels like losing control? "What was her name?" he asked. Lily hesitated again, because something about this felt wrong. Too personal. Too intense. "Why does it matter?" she asked quietly. Ethan stepped closer, close enough that she could see the shift in his eyes. Not just curiosity, fear. "Please," he said, just one word, but this time, it wasn't cold, it wasn't powerful, it was human. Lily's grip tightened around the ring. "Anna," she said. The name shattered something inside him. Completely. Because there are names you never forget. No matter how hard you try. Anna. The woman he had loved. The woman he had lost. The woman he had left behind. The room spun slightly. Ethan stepped back, his chest rising unevenly now. "That's not possible," he whispered. But it was. Standing right in front of him was a piece of a life he thought was gone forever. Have you ever realized that your past didn't disappear, it was just waiting for the right moment to return? Lily watched him carefully, confused, concerned. "Are you okay?" she asked. Ethan didn't answer. Because how do you explain something like this? How do you explain that a simple ring just rewrote your entire reality? "Where are you from?" he asked instead, his voice urgent now, desperate for answers. Lily frowned slightly. "Why are you asking me all this?" Ethan stepped forward again. "Because I need to know," he said. A pause. Then, "Because I think I knew your mother." The words hung between them. Fragile. Unbelievable. Lily's expression shifted, slowly, from confusion, to something else. Suspicion. "That's not possible," she said. But her voice didn't sound as certain anymore. Because something inside her felt it too. That strange pull. That connection you can't explain. Have you ever met someone who felt familiar, even though you'd never seen them before? Ethan ran a hand through his hair, trying to steady himself. "When did she die?" he asked. Lily looked down. Her voice softened. 5 years ago." Ethan closed his eyes briefly. 5 years. 5 years he had lived his life, built his empire, moved forward, without knowing what had happened to her. Without knowing anything. Guilt crept in, slow, heavy, because there are things success can't erase. Things money can't fix. "What did she tell you about your father?" he asked carefully. Lily's expression hardened. "Nothing," she said. The answer came too quickly. Too sharp. Ethan noticed. Because silence about something often says more than words. She never talked about him. He pressed. Lily shook her head. No. A pause. Then, she said he didn't matter. The words hit like a blade. Clean, direct, final. Ethan stepped back slightly. Because sometimes, the truth isn't loud, it's quiet, and it hurts more that way. Have you ever heard something about yourself that you weren't ready to face? The room around them slowly returned to life. Music resumed. Conversations picked up. But for them, everything had changed. Because this wasn't just a coincidence anymore. This was something else. Something bigger. Something dangerous. Ethan looked at the ring again. Then at Lily, and in that moment, a thought crossed his mind that terrified him. What if this wasn't just about the past? What if this was about something he never knew existed? What's your full name? He asked quietly. Lily hesitated, then answered, Lily Anna Reyes. The world seemed to stop again. Because names, they carry history, and this one carried a truth that was about to unravel everything. Ethan felt it now, clear, unavoidable. The past he had buried wasn't just returning, it was standing in front of him, looking him in the eyes. And what came next would change both of their lives forever. Ethan didn't breathe for a moment. The name echoed inside his mind like a distant memory clawing its way back to life. Reyes. Anna had once mentioned it. Quietly, almost like a secret she didn't want to fully reveal. A name tied to a life she built after he was gone. After he had walked away. Have you ever realized too late that the person you left behind kept living a life you were never part of? Lily shifted slightly, uncomfortable under the weight of his silence. You're starting to scare me, she said softly. Ethan blinked, pulling himself back to the present. I'm sorry, he said quickly, but his voice still carried something unsteady. He looked at her again. Really looked this time, not as a stranger, not as a guest, but as someone he might have known. Without knowing. You said your mother never talked about your father, he said carefully. Lily nodded. She didn't. A pause. Then, she used to say he made a choice. The words landed like a quiet explosion. Ethan's chest tightened. Because he had made a choice. Years ago. A choice driven by ambition. By fear. By the hunger to build something bigger than himself. And in doing that, he had left her behind. Left Anna behind. Have you ever chased success so hard that you didn't realize what you were losing until it was gone? Did she ever mention someone named Ethan? He asked. Lily hesitated. Her fingers tightened around the ring again. She mentioned a man once, she said slowly. Ethan leaned forward slightly. What did she say? Lily's voice softened, almost distant. She said he loved her, but not enough to stay. The words cut deeper than anything else. Not loud, not dramatic, just true. Ethan looked down, his reflection faintly visible in the polished floor. For the first time in years, he didn't see a billionaire. He saw the man who walked away. Have you ever faced a version of yourself that you wished you could change? I didn't know, he said quietly. Lily frowned. Didn't know what? Ethan looked up. His eyes no longer carried power. They carried regret. I didn't know she was pregnant, he said. Silence. Absolute. Unforgiving. The noise of the room faded again, like the world itself had stepped back to let the truth settle. Lily's breath caught. Her eyes widened slightly. What? She whispered. Ethan swallowed. I left before she told me, he said. I thought we had time. Time. The one thing people always believe they have. Until they don't. Lily shook her head slowly. No, she said. That's not. But the words wouldn't form. Because something inside her was connecting. Pieces she never questioned. Stories that never fully made sense. Her mother's silence. The way she avoided certain conversations. The sadness she carried when she thought no one was looking. Have you ever discovered a truth that changed everything you thought you knew about your own life? That's not possible, Lily repeated, but her voice was weaker now. Ethan stepped closer. Not forcefully, not confidently, carefully, like approaching something fragile. I don't expect you to believe me, he said. A pause. Then, but I think I might be your father. The words hung between them. Heavy, unreal. Lily's grip on the ring loosened slightly. Her mind racing, heart pounding. No, she said, shaking her head. No, you can't just say something like that. Ethan nodded. You're right, he said. He reached into his wallet slowly. Pulled out something worn, old, carefully preserved. A photograph. He held it out. Lily hesitated before taking it. Her fingers trembled slightly as she looked down. It was her mother. Younger. smiling, standing beside a man, Ethan, the same eyes, the same presence, the same person standing in front of her now. Lily's breath caught sharply. "Mom," she whispered. The room felt like it was closing in. Because this wasn't just a possibility anymore. This was real. In reality, is sometimes harder to accept than any lie. Have you ever had your entire identity shaken in a single moment? "Why didn't you find her?" Lily asked suddenly, her voice rising now. Emotion breaking through. "Why didn't you come back?" Ethan didn't defend himself, didn't justify, because there was no excuse that could fix this. "I was building my company," he said. I thought once I succeeded, I'd go back." A bitter truth, one many people live, putting love on hold, for a future that may never come. "But you didn't," Lily said. Ethan shook his head. "No." Silence.